Good evening. My name is Robert Repucci. I'm Director of Community Action Programs at the City Incorporated, CAPIC. We're the local anti-poverty.
Speak up a little bit.
Hello. My name is Robert Repucci. I'm Director of Community Action Programs at the City Incorporated, CAPIC, serving the communities of Chelsea, Revere, and Winthrop, Melrose, and Wakefield since 1967. Thanks very much for recognizing CAPIC as a stakeholder and inviting us. We appreciate it. First, let me disclose that I reside in Wakefield. I've been employed by CAPIC since 1972, and throughout my 42 years in Chelsea, I've had the opportunity to work with many of the municipal administrations. Those included Phil Spellman, Joel Pressman, Tom Nolan, John Brennan, Jim Mitchell, Receiver Jim Collin, Harry Spence, and managers Guy Sandegate and Jay Ash, of course. Although the turbulence of Chelsea's past was halted through the effective receivership, the fruits and culmination of that experience could not be realized until Chelsea City Council adopted a charter and hired Jay Ash as city manager. When Jay was hired as manager almost 15 years ago, the timing was near perfect, since under Jay's steadfast leadership, the city moved forward and was eventually ready to assume the responsibilities that come with aggressive economic development. Most would probably agree that everything that we seek in a replacement for Jay Ash must include those basic skills that he possesses. I believe we must build on that premise. We have had the privilege of being the beneficiaries of Jay's hard work, sacrifices, and determination. Even those of us in the human services area have enormously benefited from his leadership and ability to leverage local, state, and federal resources to better equip us to achieve our goals. Today we face diverse circumstances. Some might argue that the chronic conditions of crime, poverty, and blight remain the same over time and only slightly improve. That may be true to some extent, but history shows us that problems that we solve often return if we are not vigilant about maintaining the solutions. Economic development is still a priority and requires our utmost attention, although it now primarily involves adhering to the plan and creating safer neighborhoods that contain modernized housing for a diverse population. So realistically, where we are now and where do we wish to go in terms of Chelsea's future? The city maintains a stable financial condition brought about by the benefits of economic development. An aggressive city manager and dedicated city council have removed the barriers that prevented development in the past. We all have worked to overcome the obstacles and stigma that inhibit progress. But because today is a different time, we must recognize that new problems may exist that require new strategies. We must select a manager capable of continuing this process. Our goal should be to maintain the existing platform of economic stability while addressing the obvious problems of poverty, crime, unemployment, and homelessness. First and foremost, the next city manager ideally should be a local resident if that person was qualified. That person needs to have a deep and intimate knowledge of Chelsea's neighborhoods and its residents, since the major problems that we face today concern public safety and quality of life. From my perspective as director of the local anti-poverty agency, I can tell you that poverty among Chelsea residents continues to increase as the cost of rent, heating, fuel, and food continue to rise. CAPIC delivered almost 5,000 units of service to Chelsea residents within the past 12 months. There is a constant demand from residents who seek help to pay their rent, mortgages, heating oil, and purchase food. The next city manager must be a leader who understands these quality of life issues and works towards economic development that leads to jobs for the unskilled labor force too. It is the combination of employment opportunity for unskilled labor and skilled labor that encourages people to stay in Chelsea and newcomers to relocate here. Chelsea needs a leader who recognizes that the fabric of Chelsea is comprised of good, hardworking people who love their city and aspire for better quality of life. We need a manager who is sensitive to the needs of low-income people and is determined to work with stakeholders to eliminate the barriers that keep people from attaining self-sufficiency. A leader who will pledge municipal resources and utilize them in a coordinated effort together with residents, business, clergy, and stakeholders who are invested in a better Chelsea. I also dare to say that Chelsea needs a manager who is a person of faith and is not afraid to promote God as a solution to overcoming the problems of violence and substance abuse. There is no question in my mind that the issue of public safety will be at the forefront of discussions throughout the selection process. So we look for a city manager who has experience in this area and understands the extent of the opioid problem and the stakeholder strategies that require city cooperation. Almost every city and town has a population of homeless individuals and families. Our manager must recognize this fact and work with local stakeholders to embrace this problem and create resources and facilities that protect this at-risk population. We need a manager who has cultivated relationships with elected officials on the local, state, and federal level. The manager needs to have experience in management, financial planning, and education system, and public as well as private housing. The manager should have experience with union negotiations, personnel management, and be available to attend to city emergencies 24 hours a day. Lastly, I believe the manager needs to project a confident, motivated, and professional demeanor that will serve as an example to municipal employees, residents, and stakeholders. Thank you very much. I know I probably exceeded the 3 minutes. I appreciate it.
Not even close. Thank you.